Now, the assets section of the net worth spreadsheet, this is the list of everything you own. So this might be hard for you to really think about everything. I must admit, it took me a long time. Initially, there were some things that were so obvious. I own a car, I own a house. These were obvious things. But as time progressed, I started to realize actually I owned other things that I didn't think about initially. So we'll go through a list of a few things that you should consider of things you owe and your assets and the value you hold. How much money do you have in your bank account? Now this is fluctuating, so for the sake of the spreadsheet, just put a round number at what your bank account usually is, because keeping on top of this every day is not a great idea. But just put a default round number. For myself, I've put in there £500 because my money in my personal bank account goes up and down, up and down. So there's £500 in there. Do you have a savings account? Do you have any other spaces? So spaces or pots. In modern challenger banks, you do have spaces, pots and envelope systems in there. Have you put any money into there? So have a look in there as well. Is there any money there? So this is the cash equivalent section of the assets that you own. So you have your current account, your savings account, and your spaces, envelopes and pots. So pop those details into the spreadsheet and we can start building this net worth. The next section on the spreadsheet is your physical assets. So your home. How much is your home worth? You can go onto something like Zillow, Zoopla, Rightmove, and you can find your net worth. You don't need to get an appraiser out every week or every month to appraise it. Just use the general number and work with that for this spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is good. We can correct it if we're ever at an important milestone, but for now, just using the general numbers that you can find online is okay. Your car. Go on to something like Auto Trader. Go on to Auto Trader, you can find out your vehicle's valuation on there. So pop in the valuation in, that's nice and easy. Your jewelry. Now your jewelry, think about your jewelry as how much did you purchase your jewelry for, and then half the price. It is a general understanding that jewelry is sold at a markup. It's not actually worth the money that you spend on it. It's usually worth about half the price. So collate all the jewelry that you have, half the price, and then put that number into the spreadsheet. Furniture. So furniture, this could be another tedious one to try and figure out how much your furniture is worth. Similarly, collate the price that you paid for all your furniture and half the price. Used items and items that you've owned for a long time often depreciate a lot in value. So half the price that you actually paid for them is a reasonable value. You're starting to understand as well that these assets are not all assets that grow in value, that appreciate in value. A lot of these do depreciate in value. So your car, your furniture and jewelry all depreciate in value. But these are still assets and these are still things that you own and are still worth value. Your electronics, the same again. How much did you purchase all your electronics for, and half the price. Your clothing. This will be quite a difficult one. You can just put a general number in here. Just have your best guess. It would be too difficult for you in this course and too distracting from this course for you to go through every item of clothing. So just do your best guess. For me, I've just put £300 in there. I do not spend a lot on clothes, so I've just put a round number and left it like that. I don't assess that number month on month. It just stays there as a basic default number. The next section of the things that you own is your investments. Now this one is the section where these assets that you own can actually grow in value. The biggest one that you should look out for is your pension. Now this is probably the most valuable one. So go out and look for your pensions. We will have sections in this course on pensions, but you should go out and look for your pensions, find all your pensions and collate the value of your pensions and pop this into the spreadsheet. Do you own any bonds, premium bonds, gilts, treasuries, anything of that category, corporate bonds? Do you own any bonds? Get the value of your bonds and collate them all together and put that final number into the spreadsheet. Index funds. So index funds are a basket of funds, a basket of investments collated all in one, and you usually just buy the fund itself, and the fund itself invests in all these different companies and sectors. Do you have any money in index funds? Collate all the values from your index funds and put it into the spreadsheet. Cryptocurrencies. This one is volatile, but you should also assess how much your cryptocurrency is worth. Collate all the cryptocurrencies and put that number into the spreadsheet as well. Do you own or run any businesses yourself? Figure out the net asset value of those businesses and put that number in the spreadsheet. The net asset value is very similar to what we're actually doing here. We're discussing your net worth here today. The net asset value of your company is purely how much does your company own and how much does it owe? What is the remaining? If you're a part owner, if you're a 1/3 owner of the business, then cut that number by 1/3. So divided by 3, and then that's how much you have in that company. We could get into more detail. We could go into detail about contracts and how much your company could make. But at this point, it's starting to get too complicated, and really we're just looking at the fundamentals. So calculating your net worth, use this spreadsheet, go through the spreadsheet, answer the questions, and figure out your net worth.